I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow that let you know to call your brother son. The story that just begun, the promise of what's to come. And I'ma remain a soldier till the war is won. Chop, 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 judo flip. Chop, 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 judo flip. Chop, chop, chop.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Retro Wars. My name is just VA or Boondocks League Fires. I'm the retro leader, and today we're doing more retro reviewing. Sorry it's been a while, but that's what it is. Anyway, I'll let my co-host introduce himself.
Hello, everybody from the upside, downside, and anywhere in between, wherever you are in the world. I am your favorite Kurasi here, your avaricious wild card shaman queen, whatever you guys want to call me.
Not even 30 seconds
today, Junior.
Not even 30 seconds already. I'm professional as fuck.
Again, we were never to begin with. Now just do your introduction.
Yeah.
All right. This is second command of Retro Wars and a chaotic researcher Hazard of Chaos.
And I am Lady Multiverse, the quote-unquote retro goddess of the group.
Or savage goddess.
Mm-hmm.
So, as usual, for those who don't know what we do in these series of Retro Wars, if you haven't watched our stuff, we basically just pick a show from our wonderful list of endless amounts of supplies of shows to watch, binge it, basically take notes, and gather our thoughts, and then get ready to record. And today's episode of Retro Wars, we're taking a look at the Boondocks. So, before I let Hazard usually talk about the usual stuff when it comes to information on the show and all whatnot, few things I want to do first. One, this is a big memorial piece to two great voice actors who were in the Boondocks has passed away. Ed
Three,
Asner,
technically.
I believe it's Ed Asner and John Witherspoon, you said?
Yep, and also one more to note, Charlie Murphy, because he was also one of the voice actors who died in the last few years.
Yes, so all three of those, may they rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, we, as you can tell from this, we are not alone. We have a guest for this one. You've met him before, but I'll let him introduce himself.
Yo, what's good, people? I'm Riku, and thank you for guys for having me again.
Unfortunately. Anyway.
I mean, the ejector button's right on my seat, so it would be unfortunate if I just
I will
press it
break
right.
your fingers if you keep going. Anyway.
Okay.
So
that's where mac and cheese tastes shit.
Let's not start. Anyway. So guys, we're back at it. Riku's back. You may remember him from the Freakazoid review.
Oh yeah.
We did in the past. So we brought him again because for those who don't know, and part of that inside joke amongst our group of friends or our mini servers, Riku and Hazard here are basically the Huey and Riley of this series.
I love you, man. Nigga, you gay.
But I'm pretty sure y'all are smart enough to know which is which. But with all jokes aside, anything, Hazard, go ahead and tell us what the audience needs to know.
But for those who don't know, the Boondocks is basically an animated sitcom that was on Cartoon Network's Adult Swim block. And it started from a comic strip created by one Aaron McGruder, who basically essentially decided, let's bring the comic strip to an animated format. And basically it's all about the Freeman family, Huey, Riley, and Granddad Robert Freeman.
All I asked you to do is act like you got some class.
Hey,
learn some manners.
Class?
And this is the
It
things I
means
get.
don't act like niggas.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there. We don't use the N-word in this house.
Granddad, you said the word nigga 46 times yesterday.
You're gonna go, and you're not gonna embarrass me in front of my new neighbors, or I'm gonna beat your ass.
Why can't we be ourselves, huh? Why can't I be me? Are you ashamed of us?
Very.
And how they're basically living in the white suburb of Woodcrest. This series is all about basically their perspectives on what's it like living in Woodcrest, and it's also, believe it or not, reflective of Magruder's own childhood from growing up in Chicago to moving to the racially diverse Columbia, Maryland. And basically, the same thing's reflected with Huey and Riley also growing up in Chicago, and they had to move because, well, apparently sometimes their parents obviously they're dead, and Granddad decided let's bring these boys. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna take their inheritance and move them out to the white suburbs and live out the rest of my days being greedy. I mean, it's a little bit like biased on my part to that, but that's essentially what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. If you ask how the Huey and Riley parents died, we don't know.
It's quite unknown.
Pretty much.
It's quite unknown. We do want the answer to that, but we don't know for sure how they died.
That means we'd have to ask a creator.
If we ever get
Right.
a chance to meet him, or if he's watching this video, he can answer kindly in the comments below.
Yeah. Yes. If you in the comments be like, you supposed to know this stuff. You have research. Well, sometimes the animator and the creator did not show us what we need to see at this point in time.
And no, not everything we were supposed to find research is not going to be everything set in stone. There are some new information there's always some new information that will come to us or appear out that we may have missed. Sometimes we don't even add it because it will take too much time, and it might take up too much time in the video wise or spoiler wise in a way. So we just give out much as we can and let y'all take some notes for yourself.
Exactly. We just give you our opinions, how we feel about the show.
Since we got the basic gist of the Boondocks, we might as well just talked about the basic main three protagonists of the series.
All right. So basically, we'll start off with Huey, who is essentially the, I guess you want to say, poster child of the Boondocks at this point. He's basically 10 years old at the series start, and as of season 4, he's technically in the range of 11 to 12 years old, because by this time it's been roughly almost 2 years since Huey and Riley moved out to Woodcrest. He's basically the main protagonist alongside Riley up till season 4. We'll explain that later.
Huey, what about you? Don't you believe in my right to tell the truth? Just read what's on the damn page.
He's basically a self-described revolutionary, but he's also been labeled a domestic terrorist by much of the public due to his negative views on pretty much anything political.
Ironic enough, given how he'd be a great politician if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Often described as, and this is not my words, this is what literally I wrote down from one of the notes I took, misanthropic and cynical due to his pessimistic personality. He was also, fun fact, was named after the Black Panther co-founder Huey P. Newton, hence why he has the name Huey Percival Freeman, which is his full name. And he also has a depth of understanding and knowledge that would be far beyond his years, knowing roughly what's going to happen in the future based on actions and personalities of people involved. He doesn't consider himself religious, despite the fact that he says in the very first episode of that Jesus was black and U.S. President Reagan was the devil. Due to his
thing is, he wasn't fully wrong on one of those things.
Due to his extremely pessimistic behavior, Huey almost never smiles, straight up.
Finally, a worthy opponent.
I think you'll maybe catch a smile maybe once in a blue moon if you're lucky.
Honestly, I feel like how the day Huey smiles is when actually things probably goes according to plan, or if he just wants to let out one small sly smirk of proving he was right about something.
No, I feel like, in all honesty, and takes this as a joke, it'll probably have the same effect as Mandy from the Grim Adventures of Billy Mandy. She ever cracked a smile.
Fools! You've messed with the natural order!
If anything, Huey's just interesting. But I guess with that, we could gather around our thoughts on Huey.
Well, just one last thing to put down. He's also considered highly skilled in martial arts and rarely engages in fights with Riley, though when he does, the fights are extremely intense.
Well, I mean, brothers. You know how brothers are. They always fight, so of course it would be normally intense.
Oh, yeah, but with Huey and Riley, they take it to an extreme.
But I digress. We'll go around.
Right.
Riku,
Well, what I've seen both I see Huey, how he acts, it's I'd say I can't blame him how he acts. Let's be fair about this too. Huey is a very smart child. He's a very talented person.
Well, you should definitely see The Passion. It's a very important movie.
Couldn't see it. White Jesus.
Excuse me?
Come on, man. It's supposed to be all historically accurate, and they still have a white man playing Jesus? That's some old bullshit.
He speaks the truth. Doesn't matter who feelings he hurts, he speaks the facts.
Statistically speaking, it was bound to fail anyway. I guess the most important thing is that we keep quiet about our emergency supplies, and we don't let anyone else in the house, no matter what.
Fine, agreed.
What about Mommy and Daddy? There's nothing we could do for them. They're goners.
He will tell you straight up that you be an idiot for what you did, or that's not a good idea. If you don't listen to that warning, what Huey has to say, or don't listen to him at all, he will say this to your face: you are an idiot.
We all know the nigga can sing, but what happened to standards? What happened to bare minimums? Introduce him to some older women. Hide his camcorder. But don't pretend like the man is a hero. And stop the damn dancing. Act like you got some goddamn sense, people. Damn. Don't playing around here.
He will say that to your face without in remorse.
He's also not afraid to be brutally honest, no matter who it is. In general, like take one episode where Jasmine had the lemonade stand. He had no chill.
Yes, like.
Well, with Riku's side, anyone else want to get their opinions on Huey?
They kind of stole what I was gonna say.
Well, do you have anything else you want to personally add?
I mean, not really. They took everything.
Well, from your personal fact, like if you can give some thoughts onto him.
He's a smart ass. People should actually listen to him.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike the fucking when the chicken virus went out, everybody started using the fucking electricity up a few seconds that they had it.
When it comes to most of the cast or characters, will most likely will or will not introduce into the series because it'll be too many to list or mention. I'm sure Heather can understand that. But
yep.
When it comes to a lot of the characters, Huey seems to have the most common sense out of all of them because he knows right from wrong easily.
Can it be that much to say that he is practically a genius?
Yes, in a way, but then again, Huey's not fully genius. I'm not saying he's not genius intellectual. There has been some times where his own intellect has backfired on him.
In retrospect, it really was my fault. This is all your fault, Granddad.
You know, like that one episode, he got that one girl in his house when what's his face was possessed.
When Tom was possessed? Oh god.
Yeah. She said to him, "I will be with you if you're honest."
Yeah, that was Luna, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes, it was Luna. I think her name was Luna.
Yeah.
She said she will be with you if you're honest, but he lied to her face and not helping. That's what I'm going.
And when I was referring to one of Granddad's exes and how she turned out, because he was being petty about the whole thing with Mo, I'll talk about this ex.
Robert? Oh, I can't believe it's you! It's Maybelline! I ain't seen you in 40 years! Oh my goodness!
Oh god, don't remind me. He dodged a bullet. I would say this. I'm not gonna be mad. I know if that's what she looks now, I'm not gonna be mad not date that fucking woman.
Look, we're gonna talk about. Let's talk about that one bad date where that woman almost took one of Granddad's kidneys when he was in a bathtub of ice.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Yeah, I remember that shit. That bitch is paid. If I had to use who's crazy, the crazy couple Wolffish, or the fucking that bitch who tried to take his kidney, I would say the kidney is more crazier. I'd rather take the ass kicking than lose a kidney.
To be fair,
you choose, Hazard. You rather get your ass kicked?
I'd rather deal with Lona, even at the risk of the whole threat with her apparently butt fucking Granddad with a broomstick.
Exactly.
Like,
And
if
don't
you just got our good side, you don't have to worry about it. And if you just get away from a friend long enough, I think you can come to good terms. That's all I got for it.
yeah. It's just a
Well,
friend.
we're
It's just a bit.
getting a little off topic at this point.
But yeah, but Robert Freeman, aka Granddad, he's got his own stuff. But as he says, you do what you can. Next protect, his will be Riley Freeman. Hazard.
Okay, I'm gonna try and keep it brief with Riley, because there's a lot of shit on him. Basically, he's 8 years old, currently around 10 as of season 4. He's an extremely impressionable third grader who is easily influenced by rap music and basically a wannabe thug. Despite his age and attitude, he's actually just as intelligent as Huey.
Santa, you are a bitch nigga. Wait, hold on. Dear Santa, you are a bitch ass nigga. Look, fuck you, fuck the plane you flew in on, fuck them shoes, fuck those socks with the bell on it, fuck your gay ass fairy faggot accent, fuck your yuck mouth teeth, fuck your hairpiece, fuck Prince William, fuck the Queen. This is America. My president is black and my Lambo is blue, nigga. I'm coming for that ass again until you pay what you owe. Sincerely yours, the Santa Stalker.
He also has a surprisingly and possibly disturbing amount of criminal aptitude. Basically, he has a lot of knowledge on how to basically commit crime and get away with it. He's also unfortunately very petty and highly aggressive.
That's your ass, Santa! Pay what you owe, Santa.
Says the word nigga at nearly every opportunity, regardless of who he's referring to.
Or gay.
Nigga, you gay. You gay. Y'all niggas are gay. Nigga, you gay. That's gay.
And unfortunately, he's a bit of a show-off. And by a bit, I mean a lot.
If you look at the clips that many times where if Riley didn't be so cocky and some shit, he probably would have done well. But mostly the clips and gifs or possibly pictures here would show that Huey's cockiness is always bitten him in the ass more than many times.
Now, here's a surprising fact about Riley that most people don't know. Despite how he constantly bags on Huey, he actually respects him.
Oh, we're so glad you're okay.
Oh, man, we saw you on the news with all the Marines pointing guns at you. And you was looking hard, too. You was like, what?
Man, Huey, you were really right this time. You said it was going to happen, and it happened. Imagine all the problems we could avoid if we ever started listening to you.
Oops! Yeah, that's true.
However, he does respect Granddad, though.
Yo, how bad you gotta telegraph your punches for a blind nigga to see you coming, Granddad? I thought Granddad had a heightened sense of falling.
No, that's enough. Now you just stop laughing at your granddaddy. It ain't that. What's wrong with you?
Granddad had hit me written on his forehead in braille.
I said that's enough.
Okay, what you gonna do? Beat me? Maybe I should get a blindfold first.
And what Granddad does to him as punishment a lot. That's his own fault.
Yeah. If we got one more thing too, Hazard. If we got, he's talented too.
Oh, I was actually about to mention that. He's actually artistically gifted. Granted, I suppose to be a graffiti artist and all that, he'd have to be. And of course, one last thing to note about Riley, he plans heists with Ed and Rummy.
Which is probably his worst decision to make for him at
You
his
think he
age.
gives a
But
shit though?
don't get me wrong, what as it says. Like, there are times where Riley has a moral compass or where he knows right from wrong, or when something goes bad, he wants to back out.
Mm-hmm. Like the episode of that one kid in Milton.
Exactly. He wanted out, but that didn't go so well for him. But then again, I can't really blame him for that one because it's gunplay and all. But point is, though, Riley does have his head on, but it's just not fully straight a bit. You know what I mean? Just like, who wants to give their thoughts about Riley first?
Nigga, that's gay.
God damn it.
I would say about Riley, I agree with every detail Hazard has said, but I also think about this too while I was watching Boondocks and how Riley acts. He does make very poor decision making, but sometimes he makes those decisions for a reason. Every time he make, it's like everybody said, when you make a choice, it had to be a reason for it.
But every choice has a pro or con to it.
Exactly. Riley just needs to learn to think more. That's a bad problem about Riley. He doesn't think a lot. He thinks, but not a lot.
But at the same time,
Like-
he's your spirit animal.
And I want to say is this too. That's why I compare Huey and Riley with this one. Huey is brain smart, like how the fuck, how like brain smart, like how he knows about the fucking how it is and like books, reading, grades, all that shit. Riley's only focused on fucking street smart.
Technically, Huey's also street smart, just that Riley has more connections in that department.
Yeah, exactly. And Riley's fighting style just on for street fighting.
No kidding.
And using guns as well. He's very talented artist. If he thinks more and uses gift as an artist more, he'd be successful too. Doesn't matter if he's street smarts or braid smarts, he still be very talented at what he does. He just don't even realize it. That's the only thing he doesn't. That's the only thing is.
Or he doesn't care.
I
mean,
yeah, that too. Or he doesn't care because a granddad wanted him to wipe the goddamn house again. That's he may forget about art.
Yep.
And he makes especially for him.
Zammy, your thoughts?
Which is a good development point.
Okay, so when I first saw Riley and when I first started to get to know the character, I thought this dude was a stuck-up stupid ass. But after I saw it, this dude managed to like hold his own business, like with the whole chocolate shit and crap, I started to see that he's actually smart. So he's still up there, like he's fucking like he feeling himself and shit, but he fucking smart. Long story short, don't mess with him. He's smart and he'll beat your ass.
That's an understatement.
I don't know about that second part, because when he gets in a fight, he can hold his own, sure, but when he gets overconfident, it bites him.
If he's overconfident, then you got your win, buddy. But other than that, watch out.
Yeah,
Like,
I want to say about.
Go ahead.
I want to say about that too. If Huey and Riley teach each other what they don't know at all, that's the scary thing.
Well, to be fair, they have teamed up before.
No, Huey teaching them. Yeah, I know, but Huey teaching them how to do fucking kung fu and martial arts.
Well, to be fair, it's because of Riley, Huey knows how to properly use an airsoft gun.
Exactly.
And to be fair, do I need to point out the scene where they literally shot Uncle Ruckus' sorry ass out the house?
That was a good moment.
They don't really need to teach each other anything when they can basically learn from observing each other, given how they grow up together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. They do respect each other. Sometimes they get tired. Well, sometimes they get tired with each other, or they want to rip each other's heads off.
It's the latter, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to bring up to the fact where Zammy has mentioned about something about Riley. He does have some intellectual skills in his own way. For example, like she brought up the whole chocolate business and stuff.
Yeah, how he essentially hijacked it from the school and one of the biggest chocolate sellers in the world, apparently.
And literally, he was literally like his own crime boss, but selling chocolate.
He was basically Scarface 2.0, only smarter.
Exactly.
And at only 8 years old, that's the terrifying part about Riley.
Like I said, street smart.
So imagine him 10 years older. I'm just saying, like, think for a second. Imagine him 10 years older pulling that shit.
I'm pretty sure he run his own, find some kind of company, but more like of an arms dealing.
Yeah.
Because thing is about Riley, he could run his own business, but given what we know about him, I'm pretty sure everyone here in this group can agree that the most likely business he'll run, which has pointed out kindly, is most likely a drug selling business or an arms dealing business of weapons.
Oh, yeah, because Riley does know his guns a lot. He knows his guns.
Yeah.
That dude has a fucking case of guns in their room.
Yep, and most of those guns, those BB guns, those airsoft guns, most of those are his. Huey has a couple of his own, but Most of them shits are Riley's, especially Ammo.
Exactly.
And
Riley knows his.
I just remembered something too. There was a one scene where there was literally, like, when they opened up their little armory, there's like literally several big ass fucking jars of BB like airsoft rounds. I'm like, holy shit, is this kid going to war?
Exactly. That's what I said. Riley knows where to get it from. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's street smart. He knows where to get it from. He knows where to buy it from. And let's be honest, he knows who can sell it to.
Mm-hmm.
And he got people to help him. Like I'll bring out the chocolate instant. They got Jasmine Singh and a few other people to help him with that shit. And they both successful.
Mm. Not to mention how Riley's ability to get connections the way he does is borderline terrifying.
Exactly.
Now that we got the main protagonist characters out of the way, now it's time for the grand circus of fucking characters.
Okay. So
go
let's
ahead and go down the list of freaks we got.
Okay, I'm just gonna list the next three in a row because they're all very brief. We got Tom Dubois, who's basically a lawyer who's a prosecutor turned defense attorney. One of Robert's close friends has a crippling fear of being thrown in jail and or anally raped. He has a jealousy streak regarding R&B artists, just like Usher. Considered a wet blanket in social situations. One of the few people Huey actually respects, no joke. And also gets legal advice from Huey on occasion, which, by the way, actually works. Sarah, his wife, or more open and frisky as opposed to her husband, much more casual about her marriage, has an open attraction towards famous black celebrities. Despite being the dominant figure in the household and times she's born with Tom, she actually does love him, despite, Tom's shortcomings. Both Sarah and Tom are active members of NAACP, and Sarah's biggest frustration is literally Tom's lack of self-confidence.
Hey, sweetie, you look lovely tonight.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Yeah, but not as nice as you think you look.
Asshole.
Jasmine, their daughter. Biracial 10-year-old due to mixed heritage. This is played up much more in the comics than the cartoons. So yeah, they barely point out Jasmine's biracial nature, her heritage at all in the series. In the comics, it's heavily emphasized. Her personality is basically the exact opposite of Huey, where she's naive and optimistic, Huey is mature and cynical. Jasmine's also incredibly considerate to others and can be considered sheltered because of how she was raised. Her biggest dream is to be a veterinarian. She's also very sensitive at heart, which annoys the shit out of Huey. Despite this, she's still close friends with him. One of the few people in Woodcrest Huey can actually tolerate. And unfortunately, very easy to manipulate. And that's the Block film in a nutshell. So who do you want to talk about first? Tom, Sarah, or Jasmine?
I would say all three of them in one word. Tom, he's a fucking bitch. For reasons.
Which were finally resolved, surprisingly.
For reasons, I still call him a bitch to this day.
You're welcome to that.
His wife, I would say she's a fucking thought or gold digger. It's between those fucking shits.
You would think that, but believe it or not, and I actually had to do some heavy research on this. Sarah is actually more loyal to Tom than people give her credit for. Because remember, she could have broken up with him at any time.
I'll say this. Sarah's like a thirsty fucking bitch. I had to say that. She's a thirsty fucking bitch.
What she really wants, though, and this was heavily emphasized in season 4, especially the first episode, was that she wanted Tom to be more of a dominant man.
Okay, then just tell me what to do.
That's the problem, Tom. I don't want to tell you what to do. I want you to do what I want you to do, but because you want to do it.
What? But why not just tell me?
Because no woman wakes up and says, gee, I hope my man does everything I tell him to today. You're the man, Tom. Sometimes I want you to dominate. Take control. If I'm out of line, put me in check.
You better check that hole, Mr. Dubois.
You know what? You guys are right. I'm going to go back there and put her in check.
She didn't want to always be in charge. In fact, to a degree, she hates it. So what she really wanted out of her marriage was Tom to be, how to put it, she wants Tom to be more aggressive.
Yeah, like that one episode where fucking Stinkmeter possessed his fucking body and fucked his wife.
Ironically, Stinkmeter fixed their marriage.
Yeah, and he did. Yes, like I said, She thought it was Tom being like this, but the whole time it was Stick Wiener.
Hey,
that shit was funny.
At least he
Oh,
helped him
yeah.
out. I'm about to have sexual relations. No. Stick Wiener, you fucking evil asshole.
And Jasmine, I would say she's a suppressed a cinema role. She's still good thing she hang around with Huey, so she gonna learn that stop be so naive and not be so manipulated.
But she also tempers his more cynical side to a degree.
Plus, like the lemonade thing, she keep being manipulated that she'll get a pony.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, the thing was, technically, she wasn't entirely being lied to. She just wasn't told the whole truth because
that's what I said.
Because she doesn't know how to negotiate for shit.
Yeah, it's not. I know she's not lied to, but she still get manipulated to do work more.
Mm-hmm.
And how he yelled at her.
Basically put, she was set up to end up in debt regardless of what she did.
Exactly. And Huey tried to warn her about that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Jasmine Cinderella, Sarah's a fucking thirst. Instead of be a thirst. And Tom, he's a fucking bitch. He's just a bitch.
Thankfully, they resolved that. Eventually.
I still call him a bitch to this day.
Fair enough. Okay, who else got thoughts about Tom, Sarah, and Jasmine?
We'll say this: given how they look like the perfect family, they are opposite of that for sure. Given their problems and issues, they look like one of those paintings or pictures you would see as an example of a family or a perfect family and stuff. If you want one of those examples people want to try to show, but once you get to meet the Dubois family, they're a real
hot mess.
They're a hot mess. And you know what? I have to say this real quick regarding those things. When you try to put Tom, Sarah, and Jasmine as the perfect family, my only reaction is literally J.J. Jameson laughing.
Literally, it's just like it's really not a good marriage or family. Like they do, it's clear that they keep doing their best, especially for the sake of their daughter, because literally,
it shows. I mean, it shows.
It shows, and they try to make progress here and there, and I give them credit for that. But I'm pretty sure if Jasmine wasn't really around for a bit, it's most likely that type of relationship they have would probably end up in a toxic divorce or some shit. You know what I mean?
Potentially.
Yeah.
But
I say potentially as well, but I can point out a few facts why that would happen because of the whole Usher thing and probably how they always bicker about certain shit, or how freaking Sarah threw Tom out of the house because and shit like that. Literally, those are simple, small facts of how Tom is jealousy and stuff and things, or how Sarah's clearly unsatisfied with her marriage and something. It just shows that they can be happy, but they are just.
At the same time, though, again, I have to point this out, and keep in mind, I'm not the biggest fan of Sarah myself, but you have to acknowledge that she did let Tom back in the house. She was just angry for more than anything else. If she was really really that pissed at him to begin with, like you're basically implying, she could have easily divorced his ass years ago.
I know. I was just saying what could have ended a divorce if Jasmine wasn't around.
I'm just saying, with or without Jasmine. I mean, to be fair, the whole mess with Tom attacking Usher out of jealous rage, on the one hand, it could be seen as a man defending his wife's honor, but he completely misread the context of that situation because it was more Sarah trying to introduce Usher to Jasmine because Jasmine happens to be a huge fan.
No, that's not what I'm trying to get at. You're missing the point. Is what I'm saying, like, how there are cue signs that if Jasmine wasn't really around, those two probably would have been broken up during the whole series, is what I'm getting at. Because if you think about it, given a lot of the times how Tom's jealousy could literally drive Sarah nuts, she could not just stand it. I mean, literally, I'm pretty sure everyone's got that toxic relationship partner and stuff where someone gets overly jealous about something. And it's just push you where you just cannot handle it with somebody.
Yeah, and that's the truth.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's true.
Zammy, you can agree to that type of stuff, right?
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
that little kid, practically the reason they're it's like glue. She's the glue.
Yeah.
It almost seems like that because literally she's too young for that type of stuff, and given how too sensitive she is, she would probably likely break down and go to Huey. And given how Huey she would probably ask Huey to find a way to fix this, and Huey will probably say something like, "What do you expect me to do?" And she'll be like, "Something," and that's when that would be an episode itself right there. Fucking hell.
The sad thing is, Huey probably would help if only because against all odds, he does actually care for Jasmine's well-being.
He does, but there are some times when he literally says, like, what do you expect me to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's still a kid. For example, when Tom asked for Huey's help when he's in all the prison and stuff, and he's like, when he was wrongly accused of a different murder, what he didn't do and stuff, remember? And he called for Huey, of all people, to help him out.
He was initially going to call for Granddad, but obviously Granddad was at home, so...
Yeah, but point is, he literally asked Huey, of all people, to find a way of solution, if you think about it. And Huey just literally said how he was 10.
I agree with Justin what he said. When Justin wasn't involved in it, or not there during the series, they will end up with a divorce.
If anything, most likely Granddad would probably try to put some moves on Jasmine if he was into that.
You what?
Not Jasmine, being Sarah.
Sarah, sorry. I'm just...
Yeah.
It's just... My point is, Sarah can be very... It's clear that Sarah isn't satisfied with most of her things in her marriage, and Tom's... And I'm pretty sure Zami will agree with me. This over jealousy or do something stupid shit and get you thrown out of the house is a clear sign that she don't want you around for a good while.
Yeah.
Zami, what do you think?
Agreed.
Thank you.
And he apologized a lot too. He apologized too much. Apologized too much. It's not hard to say sorry for what you did, but apologizing to something that apologizing what because you're not dominant enough. That's not an apology. That's an advice he give you, not a.
I do have to put that for the record. That was Tom not understanding what Sarah was after. Because Sarah definitely should still suck ass. Let's be fair.
Let's just agree that the Dubois family, the only likable character for the Dubois family is Jasmine, most likely.
Yeah. Jasmine's the only likable character because she's a precious in her role.
I will, like I said, I gotta give Tom credit though. When he finally, grew a pair, and he finally, stood up for his wife, stood up for himself. Like when it comes down to it, Tom, he finally delivered on, his own personal development. Like it all came full circle. Like when season 4 started, it all came full circle. Let's be fair.
The Dubois family is just a mess.
It is a mess. It is. If they say they're the perfect family, they're not a perfect family.
Again. Oh, god damn it. Uncle Ruckus.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm gonna try and get over as quick as possible. He's a central antagonist to the Boondocks, and ironically one of Robert Freeman's close friends. Believes himself to be white, but is actually black and openly racist towards other black people due to a long series of lies told by his mother, such as how he's supposed to have birth with Michael Jackson's skin condition, that condition was kind of called vitiligo. He was also told by his mother he was adopted. In actuality, he wasn't. He was just, the family group was a rather toxic biological one. His mother also taught him more about white history and told Ruckus a very skewed and bigoted history of achievements of black people, such as claiming that George Washington Carver was the person responsible for most peanut allergy deaths. Other lies told by his mother were also reinforced due to his physically and mentally abusive father. Sometimes it's seen as protagonist or as a supporting protagonist or anti-hero occasionally. Oh yeah, a little fun fact. His name is actually a reference to a man named Amos Rucker, who's an African American Confederate veterans member who allegedly wanted to stay a slave after the United States Civil War.
Really?
Yes. And he's also I had to put this as a footnote, he's literally a prime example of the result of toxic parenting. I had to put that out there. So let's just discuss over with. Ruckus. Your thoughts, guys? I need to a moment to think of something to say about it without being an asshole about it. Wow, the death sound says everything. There's nothing we can say about Ruckus at all at this
Nope.
point.
No, all I would say about Uncle Ruckus, I hate him. But fuck, let's be honest. All of us hate the clown. All of us hate that fucker.
I
I
do hate him, but the problem is, what I really hate is his family because of how he raised them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm
Especially
bringing
his
up
mother.
too. Yeah, I'm not. I'll say this. I'm not gonna blame. I'm gonna say this. He's a kid. I'm not gonna blame being pissed off of him because how his mother raised him to be. Because that's made me mad so much about it.
And this points
Yeah,
back to a quote a friend of mine said a long time ago. Racism starts within the home.
yeah. Racism starts with who ever taught them that.
Yeah, it's taught. It starts in the household. It's taught at home.
Yeah, like I said, Ruckus. When he's a kid, I don't say his backstory. I feel bad for Ruckus and his backstory, but during the series, he should not. Even though his mother taught him this, he should not go. When he got older, mature, he should not listen for what she said.
The problem with that, and I have to point this out real quick, is the fact that his mother had this shit intentionally and deeply rooted into his psyche. It got to a point where he could think nothing but that. And the problem was his dad being an abusive asshole did not help matters. If anything, it reinforced everything she said. So Ruckus essentially, in his own way, had it beaten into his skull at a very young age. And the reason why his face is so fucked up, product of abuse, contrary to popular belief. It wasn't from any accident or whatever. It's literally the result of abuse. As much as I despise Ruckus with a fiery passion, I have to point out he is technically an abuse victim, and heavily so. That's why I said when we were watching the episode where Ruckus's family shows up, I had to ask Justin and Zammy especially to go easy on Ruckus this one time because Ruckus's life story was really messed up.
Yeah, sad to say. You think a guy like that who was raised that way would have some reason he was like this, but the reason they gave him for it is just not what I expected. Not what really many people would expect, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, they showed the scene of how he got it.
I'm gonna say this: when Ruckus was a kid, he does not deserve that. He does not. No kid should deserve that.
Nope.
For what he been through. No kid should be taught that kind of way about any race or how they be. They should treat him the right way and be aware, not teach them be racist to different people.
Don't trust them new niggas over there, leaving they nigga essence in the air.
That's not good. That's not good at all. That's bad parenting, and that's be ashamed. I don't like that. Ruckus, Wayne Girl, I despise him, but I look at the backstory. I can't be that mean to him because how he be treated and raised when he's a kid.
Yep.
So I'm
Can't
neutral.
deny. I can't be neutral towards Ruckus. I still dislike him heavily. I still can't stand him for the most part, but I have some sympathy for him for how he basically how he grew up. Because the sad fact, to make it worse, the reason he got such the worst treatment was literally because, and his father actually explained it at least to a point, because Ruckus was the firstborn of the family between him and his brothers. And because of that, his dad was especially nasty to him because he said it he said these specific words that he said his life was ruined the moment his wife got pregnant. So in other words, he blamed Ruckus for a lot of his own shortcomings.
If you think about it, Ruckus wasn't really their kid, they found him on the doorstep.
No. The thing was, remember, the found on doorstep thing was his mom's fabrication bullshit. That was purely fabrication by his mother. The fact of the matter is, that's his biological family, including his mother. So yeah, that's why he blamed Ruckus for everything. He blamed Ruckus, and he also blamed his wife. And what sucks is that Ruckus's father was just as bad only because his mom is a complete bitch. Just ugh. I think you remember like when his mom basically said how her worst mistake was basically giving birth to her son. And of course, you said, and you fired back saying, you should have kept your legs closed, grandma bitch. I mean, I remember you said something along those lines, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Anybody want to add anything else?
I still hate Ruckus for certain episodes, especially the Jimmy Rebel episode and the reality TV show episode. I especially hate him for those.
Yeah, I hate that one too.
That and for the shit he pulled in season 4. I couldn't, like, don't get me wrong, season 3 helped me really like get rid of some of the anger I had towards Ruckus overall, but season 4 made it worse. So
Yeah.
So for me, it's 75% heavily despise Ruckus, 20% just can't just don't like him at all, and the 5% I can tolerate him. That's how much Ruckus and legit just irritates me.
Especially the Richard Freeman episode.
The Catcher Freeman episode?
That Catcher Freeman episode, yeah.
Don't remind me. The granddad.
That really hate.
Go ahead.
Also, I think the only other thing I hate about Ruckus is his reality TV show bit.
Yeah, I especially hate him for that. I could not let go of that one.
There were Crossy, Hazard, and Zammy can confirm this. And for those who watch the Boondocks series in full, you cannot blame us. We actually skipped some certain episodes.
We skipped the Jim Rebel one because they went way too far with Ruckus' shit on that one, in my honest opinion. Like, even me who tolerates this shit on the daily, even I hadn't reached my limit on that one.
Yeah.
And I actually reached my limit during that one Riley episode in season 4.
Uh-huh.
Which one is?
The one where Riley basically made a lot of fucked up remarks about gay people and autistic kids.
Oh god, yeah, don't remind me. That is just no. That's why I don't want to watch that episode. That's really just make me ugh.
No, just Riley went too far. Like, I feel like the writers went too far with that one. Don't get me wrong, I know it's satire, but there are just some lines that you gotta be careful about crossing.
Yeah.
No, it kind of pegs the question though.
Hmm.
Do the voice actors when the voice actors get their script? Do you think they question the shit they're reading?
I imagine they do, but to be fair, you have to remember that somebody has to greenlight those scripts.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, Aaron McGruder was not involved for most of season 4, so there you go.
Yeah.
And no, he did not leave. He did not leave. Sony kind of removed him from the thing.
What happened was they tried to force him to make more episodes on a more consistent basis. Like, they wanted basically like 3 to 5 episodes per week, which they couldn't reasonably do, given they needed time for animation and such as well as writing. And of course, they kind of removed him from the project for the most part altogether because of it.
Yeah.
Sony essentially took control, and season 4 kind of bombed because of it.
Yeah. And guess what? He gave the Boondocks straight back to him.
Mm-hmm. At least what I heard.
And so he's not going to touch it no more.
No, here's the thing. They were gonna bring back a revival. They were actually gonna make it either a season 5 or a reboot. But then John Witherspoon died, and that pretty much put a huge fucking gouge in that plan. And then Ad Nazareth dying was actually in the cake. They were already having a hard time replacing Charlie Murphy, who died back in 2017.
And I explained this with you, hun. Like, either they do a time skip or all that shit, or not do the thing at all.
The problem with that idea is that doing a time skip thing could actually hurt the series potentially worse. But we'll get to that later.
Who wants to give their thoughts about Ruckus?
I gave my thoughts. I can't stand them, but I can sympathize with them a bit. That's it.
Zabby, you want to give your thoughts?
Yeah, any first impressions on Ruckus?
Nope. I'm out. Nope, not Ruckus.
Damn.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Okay.
I can't say I blame her.
Yeah, neither can I. So, moving on, since we've all said our thing about Ruckus, next one on the list, Cindy McPherson. Oh, brother. Hold on. Let me just say this real quick. Let me just say this real quick about Cindy McPherson. She's an occasional recurring character in the Boondocks. She's also Riley's rival in basketball. and also has a surprisingly similar taste and mindset to Riley, strongly hinted to be massively crushing on him. The best description summed up by one of the writers about her was that she was best described as a South Central ghetto girl who happens to be white. And despite the fact she's only been in 4 episodes, she's a very popular character. Though this is possibly due to her ties with Riley. So, thoughts and opinions on Cindy McPherson? Go.
Wait, who?
Cindy McPherson, aka the midget Cammy White. Because look at her, she literally looks like Cammy White from Street Fighter.
Given what I know about Zammy's life, she's just Lily's a little Zammy spirit animal. She could probably confirm herself.
Yep. I was about to say she's basically me.
Do you want to see a grown-up ghetto version of Cindy and stuff? Just go to subscribe to Multiverse, and there you go.
Not to mention,
That's the closest you're gonna get.
She was forced to serve in Girl Scouts, for the record. Her mom forced her into it. But yeah, she's basically a straight-up young thug in the making. And again, she works heavily with Riley. So that should tell you a lot about her. Oh, brother. And of course, if I remember correctly, Zammy ships Riley and Cindy.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, honestly, so do a lot of fans. So you wouldn't be alone in that one.
I think me and Zammy gave our thoughts about Cindy, but unless Zammy wants to give first impressions, since
She is Zammy 2.0.
She would be Zammy's child.
Oh God.
I would say this. Cindy is a good character. She is a good character.
I can't argue this. She's got potential.
She got potential. That basketball episode that she did, she talking about a lot of shit.
But she could back it up though.
Talk all that shit, but when Riley gets some dirt on her, she will cry like a little bitch and ran off the fucking basketball court.
To be fair, Riley caught her off guard with that shit because she obviously did not know how he found out.
Yes. So yeah, and it's fun. Like I said, like pop me kettle.
Like I said, it's been heavily hinted she has a crush on Riley. In fact, one episode that especially shows this was, what was it? The Return of Gangstalicious Part 2, if I remember correctly. She actually was basically wanting to hang out with Riley. She got pissed off when Riley blew her off to hang out with Gangstalicious. So there's one instance at least that shows she has a thing for Riley. And then there's another one where she, let's not forget the whole chocolate fundraiser thing, which Zammy pointed out earlier. Cindy had no chill. Even after everyone else abandoned Riley's operation, for the most part, Cindy still stuck by him. So it just goes to show Cindy is very loyal to her causes. And she also wants to be a thug like Riley. So to some degree, she looks up to him, obviously.
And if you guys can't tell, that Riley and Cindy is heavily shipped.
Pretty much.
Because like Huey and Jasmine, Jasmine always would hang around with Huey a lot. Say they with Cindy and Riley. Cindy wants to hang out with Riley a lot more.
Yeah, she even bought one of his chains just for him. Think about it like this, though. Cindy with her connections, Riley with his connections. Those two working together. Think about how much damage those two can cause if they're in about 10 years.
They could probably do a fucking mafia shit if they wanted to.
Yeah, they could. Riley's already ankle deep in it. At least ankle deep in it, if not knee deep in it. But yeah.
Honestly, she's almost like a fucking clone of Riley in a way, the way she acts and talks and all that shit.
Uh-oh, don't get picked by a girl now. I don't think you want that. That ain't pretty. Ooh, in 1 volume 6 right there. You might want to cop that, bro. It's mad because I'm styling on you.
Yeah, the white girl version of Riley is as one of my friends put a long time ago.
Yeah, so literally just, I got no opinion. Not like I say I don't like her or anything. It's just that, to be honest, she's one of those characters who really puts a unique impact on certain people. Let's just put it out like that.
True, despite only being literally 4 episodes.
But I'm pretty sure Zammy's got a lot to say about her.
Yes, Zammy, let's hear what you have to say about Cindy. I'm actually curious.
She's basically me.
But yeah, just the very thought of her being Zammy's child. Oh God.
She is my child.
Don't touch the child.
It's like I was be more afraid. I'd be my child or fucking Zammy's.
That would
Me
be
as a father,
hers.
me as a father, I would teach her the way to be in the fucking street.
I feel like Riley would be
does-
more your kid, Riku.
Oh well. He had passed the Justin test.
Oh no! Oh, I
He had
think
passed the Justin test for fucking Sydney. Trying to date Sydney.
Yep.
On that Zammy test.
Okay, Crossy, your thoughts? Cause we've barely heard shit out of you about Cindy.
Again, she's Zammy 2.0. She's a mini Zammy.
You're not wrong in a number of ways. Like, you're not wrong. Zammy would do a lot of shit she did in the Boondocks for Justin's sake. Let's be fair.
It just shows how much she cares about me.
Pretty much.
Who's the next character we're gonna talk about now?
Okay, Ed Wunsler Sr.
Before we talk about Ed Wunsler, I just want to know how many characters are we actually going to talk about, though?
After Wunsler, the old man, 3 more, and that's about it. And
Okay,
they're all
'cause
pretty.
I know
there's some pretty short.
Okay, because I know there's like a lot of them and stuff, but I just hope we don't plan to include all of them because God, it'll take forever.
Nah. Like the only other one I was thinking about adding at first was Stinkmeaner, but he literally is self-explanatory at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey,
I was saying, just get to talk about that. What's the work?
Okay, he's an incredible. Okay, I'm just gonna sum up quickly because I only put like literally 3 sentences about him, like 3 or 4 sentences about him. He's an incredibly really greedy billionaire businessman and criminal mastermind who was voiced by Ed Asner. The racism that he shows in the series is more because of greed than actually any racial motivation. So he's not actually racist, it just looks that way because he's greedy for money. Despite his behavior and questionable as fuck morals, he's actually very good friends with Robert Freeman, regardless. Oh, right, one little tip I forgot to mention. He also, he owns a sweatshop run by Indonesian girls, which Huey revealed and Ed openly confirms. That's questionable at best, but yeah, moving on. He also intentionally traumatized Huey over a kickball game to avoid his own team losing. And ironically recruited Huey for a kickball game to one up his business rival Long Do. That's Old Man Wunsler. And your thoughts on the guy?
Meh. Pretty asshole.
I'm just gonna say it's about Ed Wunsler Senior. I'm just gonna say this. He's a greedy asshole, but you can't deny that Ed Asner does a damn good job voicing him.
Yeah.
Like if you want an asshole billionaire, you gotta go to that.
What's the voice actor name again?
Ed Asner.
Yeah, Ed Asner.
The guy who voices Cosgrove.
Yeah. Yes. If you want, it's the same dude from Freakazoid. Is to say, cut it out. Like, A and B the asshole Billy. Come on, that's saying something.
Yep.
I like the voice actor, but the character die in a hole. I don't care.
Well, that just shows how good a voice actor Ed Asner was.
Mm-hmm.
But going off of that for a moment, like going way off of that for a moment, I have to point out, to be fair, and this is heavily implied throughout the series. Technically speaking, Old Man Wunsler technically owns most of Woodcrest, if not all of it. I mean, to the point where he's literally above the law as long as he's within Woodcrest. I mean, shit. I have to point out, to be fair, if it weren't for his grandson, if it weren't for that, his grandson and his best friend Rummy would have been thrown in jail a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he doesn't own that side of fucking Woodcrest, then
He also technically owns the Freeman's house through his bank. Not much more I can say about Old Man Wunsler beyond that. I mean, he only made like literally a handful of appearances overall.
Mm-hmm.
I can't give much of thoughts on Ed either.
All right, so going to the next one, since
before we gotta ask the rest of the cast.
I know I was asking everybody if they had opinions, but Zammy said meh, Frosty said meh.
I mean, like literally, this dude just put a whole bunch of kids' lives at risk just so you can win a fucking game, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Well, what you say, Justin?
Let's not forget about that one how he endorsed freaking Robert's cooking and then gets the itis and shit.
Oh yeah, the itis.
Yeah, that was technically his fault, and the only reason, and part of the reason he did it was because he could buy the state park that was in Woodcrest. And the only reason, and here's the thing, in his own words, he literally said he's been trying to buy the park for years, but the state kept, and I quote, butt fuck him on the price. His words, not mine. So yeah.
As Wessler, get down the hole. I don't care about the character.
Well, to be fair, would you rather deal with him or his son?
Give him credit where credit is due. He can really run a successful business, and if it goes under, it wouldn't even bite him a little at all.
Yeah, I would say I give him credit because he run a successful business. He does run a successful business. Not gonna lie, he run a very well done business.
A business is. Remember, he owns most of Woodcrest.
Yeah,
exactly.
It will have like if he did get bankrupt, he gonna find ways to get the money back.
Yep. Again, money is what drives that man more than anything else. So
he's the type of guy you don't want to play Monopoly against.
No, you do not.
No. that dude will run your pocket.
Mm-hmm. But I think we've proven that point about good old Ed. Who's next?
Ed Wenzel III, his grandson.
Oh, you mean the one he called a dumbass?
Yes. I'm gonna list both him and Jin Rami because they're both easily explained and they're usually seen together most of the time.
So to be fair, the last time I remember Ed Wenzel III by himself was at the party, and when Rami shot him out the window with a shotgun.
Yeah, but that was his first appearance. Rami didn't appear till later.
I know, but I was talking about Ed III.
I know.
I remember by himself.
Let's see.
Isn't Rami voiced by Samuel L. Jackson?
Yes, actually. I'm glad you noticed that.
I mean, why would anyone in their right mind spend 15 minutes trying to type some shit they could have called and said in 5 seconds? Plus, it involves typing with your thumbs, which I just don't approve of. Shit. I don't know about you, but I don't have time to read nothing that a motherfucker type with his thumbs. So basically, nigga technology is anything that doesn't plug into a printer. Does that plug into a printer? No. Know why? Because niggas never have anything to print. Go time, nigga, let's go!
I sent that bitch a smiley face. Bitches love smiley faces.
Y'all niggas are gay.
Yeah, these two clowns, Ed and Rami, were voiced by Charlie Murphy, who was Ed, and Samuel L. Jackson, who was Rami. So to make a long story short, Ed's the guy with the red hair and the beanie cap, always wears like a big fat fucking W on his chain. Rami is the guy with the cornrows and the white bandana. So to make a long story short about Ed and Rami real quick, Ed and Rami are both ex-soldiers from the military and basically local criminals. Ed and Rami also, believe it or not, they're actually parodies of two particular politicians, George W. Bush and Donald Rumsfeld.
Which one is which?
Ed being the parody of George W. Bush and Rami being the parody of Donald Rumsfeld. No joke. Okay, and Ed is well known for his catchphrase, "The fuck y'all looking at?" A running gag about Ed is that every time he gets shot in a shootout, it's usually in the chest, which is somehow always protected by something that ends up saving his life. So in other words, Ed should have died at least 3 times already.
That little hand sword of yours is kind of neat, but it can't even scratch my ultimate shield.
Technically.
Rami
don't forget that. I'll say don't forget about his one episode that he got shot out of a goddamn building.
That's what I mentioned.
Yeah, he did mention that, to be fair. Okay, another thing about Ed and Rami. Rami is as much a psychopath as Ed the Third, but he's more intelligent, choosing the shoot first, ask questions later policy. And in Ed's case, he's also usually well known for basically the fact that he and Rami get away with their criminal antics because Ed's grandfather has the entire police force and damn near the entire city on his payroll, which is what puts him above the law. This was actually shown in season 3, actually. And let's see, in the case of Rummy, though, here's the hilarious part. In Rummy's case, he actually has more common sense than Ed, though he's not many less stupid at times.
Oh, this is beautiful. It's like we back again. Hey, man, look, I'm sorry. You know, sometimes I just let my emotions get the best of me.
No, I understand. You're passionate about what you're doing. I just wish you'd be a little more sensitive to my feelings.
It was my fault, man.
No. It was my fault for grabbing the poet triumvirate, whatever her name, Maya.
Y'all niggas are gay.
And also, Rummy is extremely critical of modern technology, blaming Ed's obsession with it for criminal failures, despite the fact his own iPhone actually saved him from getting fatally wounded. Oh, and here's another one. Despite Ed and Rummy being the most popular characters in the series, Ed the Third's only been in 10 episodes, while Rummy's been in only 6.
Really?
Yep. And despite his awful strategical planning, Rummy does have a surprising amount of common sense to foresee possible outcomes when planning.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
Yeah. It's hard for me to keep track of every character because the more character, it's hard to keep track of the character. They will come in. They be in it, and they won't be back. They won't be back again to a few episodes later.
Well, to be fair, it's mostly because I'm not saying just because of season 4. Mostly since the series is kind of episodic in a bit, it doesn't really have like a good story. Like, yes, they will continue certain plots, like the whole stink meter thing, which is fine. But what I mean is like how they have like different scenarios going on and different plots is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, understandable.
So literally, you'll know one character, and then they'll just be like, and they'll forget about it. It'll come out during
God
episode 2. Like, let me give an example. Like Thugnificent, for example. He shows up in a couple of episodes, but they're not really continuous. They're just like scattered a bit for each season.
And let's not forget the fact that technically speaking, I have to point this out for record. Technically speaking, Rummy, how do I put this delicately? Like I say, the dude's fucking nuts, but you can't deny that he is good at quoting the shit that Samuel Jackson has said in movies like Pulp Fiction. Hell, a little bit of a joke about that.
Thing is, though, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this right now. There are a lot of scenes in Boondocks, whether it be characters or quotes or scenarios that happens in an episode, either actually is a reference from a TV show or a movie, or literally is a real life thing. For example, Fleece Johnson.
Oh God, how can I forget?
He's literally real.
I know. That's what I said. Oh God.
I'm not telling you. I'm telling the audience. For those who don't know, yes, the Booty Warrior is a legit real person.
Yep. Can confirm. Just God damn it, Rummy. Rummy, the fuck is wrong with you? Is what I gotta say about that.
Listen, I would say it's to Riley's defense. Riley trying to, because in Riley's perspective, he saw they had potential to be how successful that he did right now. Let's make it fair.
Yep.
Riley could pull a heist.
Riley's got the planning skill for it. The problem is, Ed and Rummy somehow fuck it up.
Okay. Let me explain. You must have lost your mind. You do not kidnap Oprah.
If Ed and Rummy, those two got some fucking brains and don't fuck it up, he would pull it off.
See, the problem is he's not wrong, but if anything, when it comes to leading the brains of most operations, it's most likely Rummy, because literally Ed Wessler III is mostly the shoot first, ask questions never type of person.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say one thing too about that as well. Make sure it's not your goddamn father's fucking bank.
Excuse me, but will you be needing anything else from me today, Mr. Wessler, sir?
Now you could go on and take the bags back in.
Thank you, sir. And for what it's worth, I thought you all did very well.
See? An unbiased opinion.
No, that's the thing. It was supposed to be his father's bank. Remember?
I know it's supposed to be. I'm talking about go to like a different bank that doesn't owned by your father. You know what I mean? Like Meredith, like the one SE tried to kidnap Oprah, and they kidnapped another different woman.
Yeah, they kidnapped Maya Angelou. And then they tried to kidnap Oprah again, and they kidnapped Bill Cosby. Damn it, Ed and Rami, you had one job.
Gabba, would you like some?
Let's be glad that the Boondocks didn't go those highbrow jokes of the Bill Cosby,
To be fair, that happened years before that incident. So there's that.
I know, but I was just saying, imagine if they did.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Had the revival happened, I imagine they would have. I hate to say it like that, but they would have touched on that. I'm not going front. Just good God, man. Okay, Crossy, Zammy, anything you gotta say on Ed and Rummy? Because I'd say more, but I don't know what else I could say.
Zammy, what about your first thoughts and opinions of Ed and Rummy when you first met him?
Psychopaths.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Also, for those who were wondering why we asked Zammy a lot on her first opinions, she's never watched the Boondocks before.
Yeah, we're fucking psychopaths, sir.
I mean, she's a newcomer.
Yeah, she was a newcomer to the Boondocks series. Go to Horny Joe. She was a newcomer to the Boondocks series, and I'm sure Zammy could talk about her experience with the Boondocks was like for her.
I've only watched snippets and like a few seconds of it when I was growing up with my family, because once again, everybody knows if Justin had $1 for every time I mentioned this person, we would have already been living together. My uncle used to watch the Boondocks a lot, and I'd casually pop into his room and like watch a few seconds before leaving.
So, like, literally most of the games or certain shows and stuff, she would either watch it or not watch it at all because of her uncle. True story.
Okay, that's understandable.
But given after watching the Boondocks now, how do you feel about it? Or would you rather save that for later?
It's nice. It was worth it.
Hey. All right.
So
3 seasons.
Anything else you want to say on Ed and Rummy, or you got just Psychopaths is your only thing to say about them?
I'm assuming it's Psychopaths.
Crossy, your thoughts on Ed and Rummy?
Just keep them away from me.
I mean, I can't blame you, especially after that one scene where Ed got pissed because Riley beat him in a video game and he shot the shit out of his PS2.
And then the butler brought in another one.
No, people are out of the same fucking closet. He knows he will break that shit.
No, literally, it's literally a fact that a butler brought in another one or something, because literally the family knows that, especially his father knows that he's going to get temperamental over shit.
Yeah, especially given how he served in the military and came out apparently more fucked up than ever.
Yeah.
I mean, war changes people.
Not only that, but Ed admitted point blank that for a couple of his missions when he was over serving in Iraq, he pretty much shit himself during one of his missions because he was so terrified.
Can't say I blame him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm talking legitimately shit himself to the point where they actually had him temporarily removed from the battlefield for a while because of it. And again, the whole thing made him fucked up.
Who's the next few that we got left?
We've only got maybe 3 more, and even then, 2 of them are negligible. One character I hate even more than Ruckus. Ed wants her to second.
We never met, but my father talks about you so much, I feel like I know you. Look, I'm just here to get you the out.
That guy, really? Do we gotta talk about him?
He was literally the central antagonist for season 4. We don't have a choice. Despite being the central antagonist for season 4, he's only been in 2 episodes. Just 2. He basically conned Robert Freeman several times with financial schemes to the point where he eventually tricked Robert into selling himself and his grandsons into slavery out of desperation to cover his debts. that he racked up due to his own sheer incompetence. He forced the Freemans and several others to literally work like slaves at his theme park Freedom Land, though it was eventually burned down thanks to Huey. Huey has actually attempted to kill him to erase the debt, seeing as Ed II was not willing to forgive it otherwise, and was more interested in enslaving them regardless to win a bet he made with Ruckus beforehand. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about Ed II. Oh right, and he was mentioned at one point in season 1 that he apparently helped the okay, you remember that store that Ed and Rummy shot up in season 1 when they were supposed to be looking for the Xbox killer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it turns out that the store they shot up was one that his dad helped fucking build.
I have nothing to say about One for the Second because there would be.
I hate him. I hate him. I honestly just hate him.
And we didn't even watch the Freedom Land episode or acknowledge
We
Freedom
did.
Land arc.
No, we have to because of two things. One, that he was a central antagonist. And two, because Huey fucked him up.
I meant like when we got to the whole Freedom Land thing.
I know. It was just stupid, in my honest opinion.
Technically, we didn't watch that episode. We skipped to the end.
Yeah, but I watched it on my own time, and I still dislike it to this day.
So, Hazard, would you be willing to care to the audience and tell them what Freedom Land is?
Basically, the whole slavery thing came to a head where he literally, like, Ed II literally made a theme park themed about black slavery. And actually forcefully enlisted Huey, Riley, Granddad, Tom, surprisingly, and several others into working there as, slaves. Now, here's the worst part. On the papers, it was supposed to be, under ethical job laws and shit. In actuality, it was nothing like that. Oh, and guess what? He put Ruckus in charge of it, too.
Welcome to Freedom Land, you lazy bastards. This here is your orientation.
Ruckus, are you trying to tell us that we're supposed to act like slaves and be cool with it?
That is correct. Here you will learn to look down when a rich white man is coming. Buck dance if you hear anything resembling a tune. And denounce any feelings that resemble self-esteem and or self-worth.
Not on your life, Ruckus.
That's even worse.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think I hated that episode? I wasn't kidding when I said I watched it before. I think I knew when to basically get to the one point that you'd actually like in that episode.
A villain that's filler. Much like all the other villains that we'll go to when we review other shows that are filler.
Yeah. In fact, the only reason he was even involved was because Old Man Wanted the First put him in charge of financial real estate. Though eventually Ed II lost that position due to his poor handling, apparently, because Ed Wanster Sr. came back. Zammy, Riku, Crossy, any other thoughts on Ed Wanster II? Because I know Justin has nothing to say about him, apparently.
Meh. Basically Garlic Jr.
Oh, hi there, Kettle. Name's Pot. Have we met?
You know what? I'll take that. I'll take that.
Don't care for it.
I don't blame you. The worst part is he even looks like a scumbag. He's not just an actual scumbag. He even looks like a scumbag.
I don't know if it's just my stupidity or the drinks or this tea I'm drinking. In all honesty, I'd rather put up with Bluster Kong than him. I'm pretty sure no one can really fault me for saying that either.
But anyways, I think that, the only other characters left worth mentioning are literally, and this is mostly in passing, Stinkmeaner and Luna, since we've already talked about her so much.
Do we even mention Thugnificent or not?
Thugnificent, why not? We're not going to touch on it too much anyway. Because it was only like maybe 4 or 5 episodes total throughout the entire series.
When it comes to certain characters, he has more appearances than those other two a bit, you know what I mean?
True. Thugnificent. I didn't actually write any notes on him, but he's basically a now former rapper who was basically in charge of the Lethal Interjection crew. He literally had an album called Rags to Bitches. And he also at one point was a one-time enemy of Granddad because of how when he moved in, the entire block was turned into a block party for literally 3 days straight. Granddad hated him because of that, and they got into a big beef and turned into a song called F Granddad, yada yada. And then eventually Thugnificent went broke and resorted to selling drugs to try and get back into business, which kind of backfired horribly.
Pardon me, are you selling crack?
What it look like I'm doing?
Here.
Oh, lovely, lovely. I'll take 2, please. Excuse me, sir. I'd like to return this crack. What? I haven't even got mine yet, and you're bringing shit back. I said I would like to return this crack.
This ain't Walmart, nigga. There ain't no return policies.
Oh my god! I wasn't even. God damn it, hon. So he went from basically. So he went from rags to bitches and back to rags.
Yeah.
Well, mostly. Apparently, according to Doug Nipson himself, his homies Mactastic and Flo Nominal, who, by the way, are voiced by Snoop Dogg and Busta Rhymes, Mactastic, aka Snoop Dogg, went back to pimping, and Flo Nominal went and took a day job, only for Doug Nipson to accidentally get him fired.
And now Doug Nipson works as a delivery boy
for the UPS.
Well, I only have a few things to say about Doug Nipson.
Let's hear it.
Booty butt, booty butt, booty butt.
God damn it!
Shut your bitch ass up.
God
booty butt, booty butt, booty butt.
I hate you both.
Hopefully, you know.
Y'all both a bunch of Rileys.
Me and Justin been talking about got their truck, like booty butt, booty butt, booty butt, booty butt, jinx.
God damn it.
Our leader, everybody.
And our guest.
That song is fucking funny, at least.
By the way, about that was actually made into an actual song, believe it or not. Not even joking. I mean,
just fucking said it, booty butt. Booty butt.
Anything else you want to name off Doug Nipson about?
Funny fucking guy.
Yeah, guess who voiced him, by the way? I just checked. The rapper will.i.am.
I knew it.
Britney,
I knew
bitch.
it was.
It.
I know because you know how I know it's will.i.am though.
How you know?
Cause I'm like that because of that fucking song. When I heard his voice, what will.i.am, I was like, that's the same nigga.
But yeah, like I said, I actually looked up the songs just to see if they actually existed on YouTube, and some of them actually were made into full songs. So keep an eye out. Oh right, I almost forgot one. A pimp named Slickback. But before we go to that, anyone else got thoughts on Doug Nipson before we move on?
No, like I said, funny ass nigga.
Crossy, your thoughts?
Oh boy, funny ass nigga.
God damn it, hon. You were no help.
Zammy, your thoughts?
I just said it.
What was it?
Booty butt.
Booty butt jinx!
I figured it would have been stomp him in the nuts, but okay.
Booty butt, booty butt, booty butt.
No, that's an actual song, by the way.
Stomp him in the nuts. We'll stomp him in the nuts.
Booty butt girls everywhere. Woo!
The sad part is that's an actual song. Stomp him in the nuts. Ugh.
Stomp him in the nut. Stomp him in the nut.
I hate you. Moving on. A pimp named Slickback. Oh boy, this is gonna be a treat.
Now, before you guys, before we go down to there, first off, before y'all ask, yes, that's officially his name. It's not just pimp. It's not Slickback. It's actually, you have to say the full name, a pimp named Slickback.
And it's a conquest.
God damn it, I hate you. Anyway, he's a pimp.
The whole thing.
Okay, this actually dates back to when Granddad apparently was dating a prostitute, trying to turn her into a housewife. Sadly, he failed. But this actually turns out to the fact that he was revealed to a pimp named Slickback. Basically, is an actual pimp, apparently, who was surprised the pimp of Granddad's girlfriend at the time, Crystal. And to make a long story short, he was a very stereotypical pimp. Though, ironically, he was surprisingly good at fixing people's marriages.
I want to help you, Tom, I do. But I need you to help me help you. Tell me, if you would, about this bitch you have an unhealthy dependency on.
Could we please not call her a bitch?
Say it, bitch. Yeah. Yes, we've got to call her that, Tom. I'm sorry. After what she's done, not calling her a bitch would be disrespectful to you, and I'm not able to do that.
And he's apparently such a pimp that he actually pimped out his own grandma.
Everybody loves wrinkles.
I like a grandma.
So it's a safe bet he probably pimped out his own mom too.
Probably his own sister too, if he had one.
I assume he probably does. Any thoughts on a pimp named Slickback?
I mean, even though he's a pimp, he did help Tom give some advice, even though it wasn't the right kind during the whole.
The best.
What'd you say, hon?
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
It wasn't the best, but it did help Tom try to put some confidence, or not confidence, some. Okay, he helped him grow a pair a bit during the whole fucking
Usher
whatever his
incident.
name. Usher. I want to call him T-Pain for some reason.
God damn.
Auto-tune music, I guess. I don't know. His advice is normally I would say he gives good advice, but now that I'm Riku, I swear to fuck.
God damn it.
That's a mistake. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. I'm sorry.
As I want to say before I get cut off again, I was gonna say he gave good some advice, but then I wanted to stop and second thought myself and say that's probably a thing I shouldn't say, given you should never take advice from a guy who's a pimp. But yeah, pimp named Slickback. I can't really give him too much thoughts or opinions because he was only in 2 episodes.
I think it was in 3 episodes at most. I can't remember because he was gonna originally be in. He was gonna originally be in season 4, from what I heard, but he was absent for pretty much a good chunk of season 3 and 4, where he could have been a made appearance. But that was because apparently his voice actor Cat Williams got in some legal trouble. I don't remember what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that explains a lot.
Hence why season 4 had Flizzy taking over to help out Tom.
And yeah, there were, I don't remember all the details behind that legal trouble BS, so I'd have to look into that at a later time.
I'm not brave enough for politics.
But yeah, there you go. Pimp named Slickback.
Does anyone want to give their thoughts on pimp named Slickback, or should we just end it with the pimp's prayer?
Let's say the pimp's prayer.
Oh my fucking god.
Lord, please pray for the soul of this bitch and guide my pimp hand and make it strong, Lord, so that she might learn a hoe's place. Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
Nah.
Okay, moving on then.
Yes.
Alright, the last one I could honestly think about talking about is either Luna or Stinkmeaner, and we explained Luna pretty heavily earlier, so...
I will say it once, and I said it twice, I'll probably say it a third or many times. She is literally a crazy kung fu wolf bitch who's got a toxic friend that corrupts her head easily and stuff and won't learn to shut the fuck up. If Luna actually stopped listening to her friend, she would get her head on straight and actually get her life back on track.
Yeah, she
learns that move called the Kubite.
It's actually a deadly martial arts tournament. At least what I've heard about the Kumite. I mean, there was literally that one scene where Luna literally killed her opponent Mortal Kombat style. Yeah, I think we've all said our thoughts on Luna earlier when we were talking about Granddad, but any other thoughts you want to say about Luna?
Honestly, there's not much to say given how we literally discussed it all during Granddad's relationship issues.
Fair. The only one left is Stinkmeaner, and I'm gonna leave that to y'all. All I'll say is that he's an angry old man who hates everyone and everything. He hates people in general, like it is. He also hates anything that has to do with happiness, peace, or friendship, or basically anything positive. Really, he's just toxic. He also basically fought Granddad in a street fight, only to get killed, which resulted in which was the prime example of what one would call in the Boondocks a nigga moment.
Let's just say Stinkmeaner has been in a lot of episodes and scenarios. One that could be dealt without. So literally Stinkmeaner has been in episodes where one, the nigga moment episode. 2, when he came as a spirit and possessed Tom's bitch ass.
Yeah, he's technically appeared, visually he's appeared 3 times, but he technically made a 4th appearance in season 3. Only as a narrator rather than, an actual... Well, no, he did appear in a flashback, so that's 4. Never mind.
It was when he was the Hate Society, was it?
The Hateocracy.
Yes, the Hateocracy and the clone episode, which honestly was kind of dumb.
Very.
And I guess if you want to count that one nightmare Huey had, where a bunch of millions of fucking versions of steak meter. Oh wait, was it Huey? It was Granddad who dreamt that a bunch of steak meters were invaded in the house and stuff, and when he woke up, he was happy because he escaped.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
I can't say I'm surprised.
But honestly, yeah. Point is though, Steak Meaner is he's not a person you want to be friends with. Unless your Uncle Ruckus, because somehow they actually did become friends somehow.
Yep.
And that's a scary thing.
Those two being friends is not good for anyone's sanity, period.
A nightmare. A chaotic nightmare.
Who wants to give their thoughts about Steak Meaners?
His voice would be perfect for memes, for characters.
You're not wrong.
Oh, yeah! Look at you! You was popping all that good shit a second ago, then you got kicked in your chest! You eat a dick, nigga! You eat a dick!
Alright, Riku, your thoughts on Stink Mana?
A funny motherfucker. A funny, exciting motherfucker.
He's a funny yet toxic motherfucker in my book, but okay.
Yeah. The person, the master of nigga moments.
He's the one who you might as well say he practically invented it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Zammy, your thoughts?
He's in hell now, so.
Yep. He went back to hell.
Though I wouldn't be surprised if they did do another episode with him. I wouldn't be surprised if the devil.
Oh God!
Can I finish, please, before you cut me off?
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just saying.
It's good. I'm just saying. Though I wouldn't be surprised if the devil himself was just like, yeah, fuck this shit, and just spat him out of hell and just brought him back to life.
Funny you mention that. He earned the devil's respect, apparently.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh shit!
All right, people. Now that we moved on, talking about certain characters. Note there is a lot of other characters we could talk about, but mostly given how they're like one-offs or one or two-offs and make rare appearances and stuff, there's not much to give off we can work with or talk about. And if we do, it will be too much to work with, and this review will take forever. So, guys, let's start doing this, and everyone's going to talk about their favorite episode of the Boondocks series.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Riku, since you're the guest, you want to talk about what of the episode of Boondocks is your favorite?
I'll say the Bob Ross episode.
Mm-hmm. I love that episode.
That's understandable.
The Bob Ross episode. It's because this is why I say that. Because we got to know Huey's talent and Granddad's talent and Jasmine's talent. We know everybody else's talent except for Riley. And I'm glad they showed that Riley has a passion for art and art in general. That has really got us to know about more about Riley more than anything. Instead of him being like some dude from the streets, that he's known as a very talented artist. And the only reason, and that's my favorite episode, because he did a painting in front of his house of his granddad and his wife. That's why that's a good moment right there. I love it.
Any others like you can list more than one episode, dude.
I'd say that's only my top one for right now, because that one's my top one because of that.
That's
right. All right. Zammy, what about you?
I actually got 2.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Sam.
No, actually 3. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes, Sam.
Okay, so the first one is when Grandpa was thugging out that gold digger while she was basically in the house freeloading, doing nothing.
In other words, the guest host coming to dinner episode.
It's like that one's one of my favorites because we actually got to see the loving part of Grandpa for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, second one has got to be that chicken virus shit.
I don't blame you. I can't blame you in good conscience.
And the third one is when Grandpa, quote unquote, found his son, but it was actually not his son. We actually got to see his loving side again.
So in other words, Granddad's good moments, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Understandable. Understandable.
Crossy, what about you?
Oh, the Bob Ross episode.
That's the only one, babe?
Yeah, and the chicken virus episode.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, it's one more. It's one more I like too. Well said.
Then you should have said it when Andrew asked.
Like, go ahead. You're sorry.
That's it. All right, go ahead and say it.
Just say it already.
Yeah.
You forget already?
Say it, pussy. You won't.
The chocolate episode.
I can't fault you.
Oh my
I
God.
can't fault you. That was a well-written episode. Despite my dislike for Riley during that episode, I can't fault you. That was a good.
Man,
that was
you
good
love
writing.
Speed Gangsta.
All right, Hazard, you got?
I've got
You got it?
5, but with good reason. And this was a tough choice to make on these 5. The one of them was definitely the red ball episode with where the kickball episode specifically, because it showed not only Huey's development as a character, but it also showed that basically it was kind of a pun. Like, I know it was supposed to be a parody of, you know, the whole US-China relations thing, but at the same time, it also showed that Huey had there was actually something that actually could get under his skin royally other than people's ignorance. And he said he didn't like being laughed at because it basically made him do some pretty horrible things when he's angry. Like, for example, how he apparently gave a girl a permanent limp, only to turn out to be false later because she got therapy. But also when he basically faced off against Ming with some Shaolin soccer bullshit. I mean, you can't say I'm wrong about that. Another one had to be the Wingman episode where Granddad basically had to go to Mo's funeral. But the one moment that got me was, well, 2 moments that got me. One, Huey and Riley's payback against Cairo and that idiot Dewey. But 2, when Granddad's ex-best friend got him back from beyond the grave. I want to leave you something very near and dear to me. These nuts, nigga! Now, the other 3 episodes, and this was a tough call to make, honestly, because these were well-written episodes. The Hateocracy episode was a favorite. Like, that won't change because it really showed just how... It showed a lot of continuity, but also showed that the Freemans would do whatever it took to survive. And you can't fault them for what they had to survive to begin with. So there's that. And the last 2 that were favorites of mine, again, tough calls to make. The Martin Luther King episode actually was one of them. The reason being because it gave us a look on how the world could have been so very different had Martin Luther King survived. You know, that the shooting that killed him back in the 60s.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, it makes too much sense. In a twisted way, it makes a lot of sense. Also, one other thing I have to point out with the Wingman episode I mentioned earlier, it also showed that Huey did have a soft side for somebody. And he did have one for Jasmine, who initially was worried that Huey was going to leave her behind when he said he was going back to Chicago. But it went full circle where Huey came back, and Jasmine basically, you know, she was happy. And Huey tolerated that shit. I mean, you could tell he respected her deep down at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the Lando Freeman episode. And you can't blame him for that one. Because Granddad showed some character development, some very good character development at that. But it also showed me some funny moments with where Rummy was ready to kill Lando at Granddad's order. Just, good God, man.
I was about to say the Soul Plane episode.
No, actually. I was considering that, but I'm like, nah. The Lando Freeman episode got me. The Lando Freeman episode got me more because, again, it showed Granddad's better sides as a human being. And I like that. That and the part where Huey pimp slapped Riley for book. Sorry, fuck you, Riley. I'll mention this. I'll give this one an honorable mention: the Booty Warrior and the Fundraiser episodes. And you can't fault me for those. Those were funny as hell. The Fundraiser was in its own right twisted and funny because it was clearly a Scarface reference from start to finish. And I gotta point out the whole thing about, you know, Granddad and, how I put this, Granddad getting high. That was an honorable mention for me, but there you go. Those are my favorites. I've given my reasons. Y'all can continue.
Personally, one of my favorites was, aside from the chicken episode, because I did enjoy that a bit, even though the sheer stupidity went on that one. I also like the Hateocracy episode. That was nice and enjoyable. I actually did enjoy the Soul Plane episode. That's one of my personal favorites because, not really because of them in the movie theater themselves, just like Huey going around and stuff, and literally fighting Uncle Ruckus. That was enjoyable to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed seeing that match go down. I did enjoy the Ebony Brown episode. It was very interesting for what it was, and seeing how sure Granddad did a total 180, but something seeing how there's actually this perfect fucking woman in the episode that's not toxic at all,
And hasn't tried to
and
kidnap
just
his grandkids.
or ruin people's lives or some shit like that is literally an eye opening to me. It was even shocking to me. You know what I mean?
I just love your life. You have these crazy adventures with these bizarre characters, and it's so much fun.
Never thought about it like that. Seemed like a bunch of problems to me.
I want to be a character.
Cameo or reoccurring?
Regular.
Okay, let's stop breaking the third wall.
Mm-hmm.
Because literally, like, there is nothing wrong with Miss Ebony Brown. Like, 100%. Like,
It's
just wow.
It's just kind of sad that technically it's Granddad's own fault that the relationship goes south.
Exactly. It's okay. I liked the episode of the Ebony Brown because it was very interesting to see, like, how the Boondocks, given how wacky and insane the show is, they were able to create a character like that. You know what I mean?
And make it a more serious and touching like episode as well. I mean, honestly, that's all I can honestly say about that. Like, that's all I want to say basically. Okay, so now we got to draw the characters, like, well, all the characters and which episodes we liked. Any episodes y'all hated at all?
Well, there's plenty of those.
More Kardashian.
Well, let's go. Well, let's go down the line. Firstly, let's go through the line. Who wants to start on telling the least favorite episode? Rico.
So I come back to me for that one. I need to think.
Hey, I got my least favorite episode.
Oh, this
Go ahead.
right here.
The one where we skipped, where Ruckus had his reality show.
Oh yeah.
That one.
I hated it. I hated it, but I hated the Jimmy Rebel one even more. Like, because one, it involves Ruckus making country music. Bad enough I hate Ruckus as it is, but worse when he makes country music. I'm not a fan of country music at all. I'm sorry. For any country music fans out there, I'm sorry, but I don't care for it.
You're not missing much.
I hated the Jimmy Rebel episode because it was just so unbelievably racist. As on top of, like, it was racist to levels even I couldn't tolerate. And here's the thing: being a black guy, here's the thing: I have tolerated more than my fair share of racist jokes and shit, but there's a limit to that shit in my book. There's a fucking limit. It was just bad. That and a good chunk of season 4 I honestly did not like at all. Any ones you don't care for, Justin, Crossy? Like,
I'll agree with Zammy on that one. That's some recent. That's the one that popped into my mind. Right.
Yeah,
I forgot what the episode. I forgot what the name of the episode was, but that
the Uncle Ruckus reality show. It was literally called the Uncle Ruckus reality show.
Yeah, Uncle Ruckus reality show. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I hated that. And that's my least favorite. That's and the hair gel.
The hair gel. Oh, I know what you're really talking about.
Yeah, I think you know.
I know the Kardashian one's one you really couldn't stand, but any others?
Yeah. Nope, that's just it. And also Freedom Land.
I don't blame you. That was one of the episodes I really hated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the thing was, remember, I watched every episode of Boondocks, including the ones we skipped for this review. I watched every single one of them, and I can honestly say I did not care for a lot of those episodes. Like, don't get me wrong, I know it's satire, but still, like I said, there's just some things even I have a limit to tolerating. Justin, any ones you didn't care for or just basically despised?
There was a couple. Most of them were from season 4, though. Most of them involve, well, the whole Riley incident where the whole gay and retarded thing that irked me a bit.
I don't blame you. Even I questioned the shit out of episode. Like I said, I have my tolerance of shit, but even I have to question what was the point behind that episode. I just feel, I think that episode was just badly written.
I'm saying they took that shit way too far right there. They went too far about that shit.
In a number of ways, yeah, they did.
Yeah, I don't got much to say about it. Other episodes. You know what? This has to be mentioned. Zami will probably agree with me or hate me for bringing this up. That one weird, well, two of them actually. Hey, that one rapper who got kidnapped by his former crew just saying, "Because I'm in love with you, man."
The
That episode.
Gangstalicious.
Yeah, that one. That one was just.
Yeah, what would they call it? Thug in Love? Ugh.
Yeah, Thug
Don't
in
get me
Love.
wrong. I have nothing wrong. I have no issue with the LGBT community, but there are just some things like I'm a straight man. I'm not sure if I'm entirely like, what's the word? Like I don't need to see other people do their business. That's between them. That's all I gotta say.
In the words of Riley,
Nigga, you gay.
Yeah, that you actually bringing up the next thing I don't like. It's that one where that one rapper that came when he came back and stuff, and there was this whole gay freak out shit, and where Riley almost had that moment where he tried thinking he wore. Yeah, that
Riley
incident, that
completely had a meltdown on that one actually.
So literally, I could I had no problem with it. It's just that was just
To have an 8-year-old kid who here's the thing you have to remember. Exposing kids to that stuff back in growing up in the 90s and 2000s for me, legit, there's a reason why a lot of that stuff was banned from cartoons initially. Because kids, we're talking kids younger than the age of 10 have no business having to already learn about sexuality at that age. That's something they learn when they hit puberty. But that's just what I grew up knowing. I mean, I could be dead wrong at this point, but that's just me.
But yeah, that was a episode. Those kind of episodes could have been lived without. You know what I mean? Because those were weird directions, and they weren't even that season bad as most things from season 4 and shit. You know what I mean? They were just I'm sure some people might disagree. They find it funny, and it was humorous, yes, but that was still weird, man. It was confusing and fucking weird. But yeah, I think that's all I gotta say about my disliked episodes. Ugh. I guess we can talk about favorite characters and all that shit. But before we do, we forgot a little piece of information and stuff of how the show was all made and shit. Hazard, if you
I'll
please.
get through as quick as possible, save time. Basically, put initially the Boondocks was on a comic strip called from a site called Hitlist.com, which is a music website, believe it or not. Then it got into Source Magazine, and following this, Magruder was pitching it as both a syndicated comic strip, and it was pretty long-lived, surprisingly. But it was also vindicated as he also tried to pitch his animated TV series.
Right.
In fact, the Boondocks comic strip started in April 1999. As for the cartoon, it took a bit longer, up till 2004. And at the time, the president of Adult Swim basically said that he stumbled across the pilot of the Boondocks, and he said that the original pilot for it was too networky. He basically told Magruder the following thing. He asked for 15 episodes in one season, and he said, just tell stories with it. Just that. Now, believe it or not, the series actually has a loose connection with the comic strip. And at one point, Magruder tried to, have them form somewhat a similar continuity to each other, but he also basically, initially, okay, you know how Riley has his cornrows in the cartoon, right? I almost said anime for a second. The long and short of it is, originally, Riley wasn't supposed to have cornrows. If you look at the comics, he didn't. He had, a mini afro like Huey did, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, Magruder made a point to try and synchronize that together, so he went with that. And believe it or not, you're not gonna believe where Magruder got his ideas for the Boondocks comic and cartoon from. You'll call bullshit when I say this too. He got it from anime and manga, but believe it or not, he also got it specifically from animes like Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. And originally, he was going to have the series animated by the studio Madhouse, which is the same one that animated Black Lagoon. But the deal didn't work out, so another studio took up the job. And originally, they were going to have a season 5 for the Boondocks due to an announcement back in 2019. But John Witherspoon died shortly after that. And because of it, the revival was postponed indefinitely. But with how Ed Asner died recently, that might not happen at all. So we might not be getting the Boondocks, period.
Unless they do like a time skip thingy or not.
Again, that could hurt the series.
I'm just saying no.
I know. The show has been hit by has been a frequent it's been considered controversial for a number of reasons. The humor in the comics and the cartoons, unpopular views on various issues including race and politics. And believe it or not, when they were on Adult Swim, 2 episodes from the Boondocks were removed from the broadcast without any official word whatsoever. The two episodes that were removed were the Hunger Strike episode and the Uncle Ruckus reality show. The reason being was that Viacom threatened Sony with legal action if those episodes were aired. And the reason being because the 2 episodes that were removed were critical of BET, basically. And BET was owned by Viacom, so there you go. So yeah, that's basically the gist of the Boondocks overall. Like in terms of, little factoids here and there. So let's see. We've already gone through least favorite and most favorite episodes. Characters y'all like. Y'all already know who is my favorite at this point. If y'all don't know me know enough, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, your favorite character is Huey.
Pretty much.
I think Zappy's obvious favorite character is Cindy. Am I right, hon?
Yeah! I fucking knew it.
Oh, that's no surprise. And Rika's favorite character is Riley.
Yeah, but I also have one more.
Oh?
And that is...
You'll be surprised about this.
Let's hear it.
I'm a little bit about to say it's 50-50 with me, but I will say a little bit of Tom.
You know what? Given some of his development points, I don't fault you there.
Tom, this is the reason I said Tom. That's what I said Tom too. Like you said, I just would say he's a bitch, but at least he tried to be dominant to set his wife straight.
And he eventually succeeded in season 4.
Exactly. At least he tried.
Fair enough. So, reasons y'all like these characters. I know, if I'm right, I know Crossy's favorite, but Crossy, go ahead.
Jasmine.
I'm not surprised, honestly. I mean,
Huey.
I can't blame you. I really can't blame you. Jasmine...
Mostly it's because we're Hazard.
No.
Well, to be fair, Jasmine is one of those people you just want to give a hug to. Let's be honest. I mean, and Justin, your favorite?
I have to think. I don't know if I have any favorites, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. I mean, I've had one or two times I haven't had no favorites, so...
To be honest, so it's hard to say, because there's a lot of characters and stuff. I mean, I did enjoy Huey, Riley, and Granddad. I did like them, but aside from them 3, not really I like, because a lot of them I just didn't, I enjoyed their company, or they just annoyed the piss out of me, to be honest.
Fair. I'm gonna be honest, I have expected you to say Rummy at one point.
I do like Rummy. He makes me laugh, yeah.
And the fact that he quoted one of Samuel L. Jackson's lines from Pulp Fiction has nothing to do with it. Right. Say what again? Say
Alright, so I think we're going to move on to the harder phase. Everyone's least favorite characters.
Uncle Ruckus.
Uncle Ruckus.
Uncle Ruckus.
I got three I don't care for. I got 3 I don't care for. I don't care for Stinkmeaner much. I hate Ones with the Second, and I despise Ruckus. So yeah, I don't care for any of those 3.
Okay. And Wesley the Second. I don't really care much for Tom, to be honest.
I don't fault you.
Dude annoys the piss out of me so much. especially in his singing episode. That is where I draw the line.
You know, you gotta let it go.
Am I dead yet?
No. Just why just remind me?
I'm just saying. I
know.
didn't care for Ruckus, especially during his reality show phase or the Freedom days. I didn't care much for. Honestly, there's a lot of characters I could say I hate, but
Actually, okay. I just remember 2 other characters I don't care for. Ruckus's parents, because they're just fucking toxic.
Honestly, I mostly hate his dad.
I hate his mom actually, because let's be fair here. Yes, his dad is a complete asshole for how he treated Ruckus, but to be fair, it was his mom who practically brainwashed her son to believe all this racist nonsense. And you gotta remember, mental fucking abuse is usually hard to get rid of than physical abuse. That's why I said that one episode to go easy on Ruckus on that one, because he went through a lot. And a lot of it was clearly mental. His dad just made it worse physically. So any abuse Ruckus suffered mentally was only just reinforced by his father's physical. So there you go. And then when his dad basically went and not only dropped that bombshell on Ruckus that destroyed his view of himself, but also, for better or worse, basically, like he destroyed Ruckus emotionally. Again, he was just basically reinforcing the already fucked up abuse he already dealt with. But you gotta remember, the one who originated it was, surprise, his mom. So yeah, both of Rux's parents, though, they're equally toxic. And I gotta include his grandma in it as well, because she's just a bitch. Even made a point to basically essentially invite herself into Granddad's home and said she wanted to die in his chair because it was comfortable. All I can do is sit there like, wow, bitch. Like she wants, it was clear that she felt like her purpose in life was to be as big and enormous burden on people as possible. Like, just goddamn. But yeah, those are my reasons for why I don't care for Rux's family. His brothers are the only good ones. All right, so any other least favorites you guys have?
Nope.
Pretty much good.
Zammy, Krause, any others you don't care for?
Stink beaner. I mean,
You know,
other than holding a fight of his own, even though he's a bitchy at nigga. Yeah. I really don't care for him. If it's a fight with Grandpa, I care. But other than that, I really don't give a shit if he's in hell.
Fair enough.
And I can't really say don't care much for his Idiocracy crew now that I think about it.
They were just there to be villains, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. So I can't say give a damn about him, you know what I mean?
I know Krause does not care for the one Kardashian woman in that episode.
Control, control, control.
That was
for several reasons. 2 of them extremely traumatizing for poor Krause.
I don't even want to talk about it. Stop.
Let's not then. All right, so oh boy.
I guess another character I can. I guess another character I could say I don't like is, I'm not gonna say Luna, but Luna's friend.
Yeah, toxic friend she is.
Oh my God, girl, I am so sorry. You told this man your life story and he just dished you like that? If a man said that to me, oh my God, I don't think I can handle it. I would just freaking die.
Well, I hope her friend isn't giving her more bad.
I just cannot stand that bitch.
It's one of those girls, like one of those girls they want the custom to.
She's a bad friend.
She want to compare her to her situation and tell her what she needs to do, and knowing she would take it the wrong way.
It's clear that she to some extent she understands the influence she has on Luna. But Jesus.
It's just, given how she's just impact Luna so much, it just pissed me off and shit. Just like,
like shut the fuck up.
Yes. I think we've hit our quota today. So I think it's time for the next thing where we rate the series itself in general. So we're gonna start with our guests. Riku, from a scale of 1 to 10, if you would, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the Boondocks?
Okay. The seasons 1 through 3, I'm gonna say I give it like a 9 out of 10. But when I see that after season 4, it went down to a 7.
But if you have to rate the whole show in general,
I give it like a little bit 7 out of 10 or 7.5.
all right. So the whole series to you is a 7.5. Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. For this season 4 just got me,
Zammy, what about you?
Is to go even further beyond!
You come back to me?
Sure. Crossy?
What's your rating?
Rating.
7 out of 5.
What?
Wait, what? Hon, it's out of 10!
Hang on. Retry that again.
7 out of 10.
There you go. I was about to say.
8 out of 10 for me. I just made up my mind.
If I have to be honest, and I'm taking everything into consideration with my rating for a moment, you have to consider the context of certain episodes and shit, and how certain things can be easily misinterpreted. Considering this series has had a fuck ton of controversy from day one, I'm gonna have to be straight with you on this one. I have to say that straight out, this series would have gotten a 9 out of 10 if it weren't for season 4. Because season 4 had a lot of mistakes, badly executed storytelling, badly executed plot points, badly executed characterization, just a lot of bad execution everywhere. And the 2 episodes that really irked me with the season 4 especially were the last episode of season 4 where Riley got in trouble for the anti-gay and special needs comments. That was too far. I have to say that was too far.
Yeah.
It was one thing where Riley said the whole Nicky game comments because that was pretty much his thing. But the way it was taken out of context made it 10 times worse.
And then the whole special thing just pissed me off.
Yeah, and not to mention, it really slaughtered Riley's character overall, compared to how his development was the first 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So, keeping all that in mind, especially with not only that, but certain episodes in season 3 were just as bad, I have to give the series an honest 7.5 to 8 out of 10. And I'm being generous by saying that. If I had to be honest, I would give the series, I'm going to be honest, a flat 7 out of 10. I'm being generous by giving it a 7. Being generous by giving it the extra points. Because the voice acting was on point. The animation was on point. The storytelling, while weak in some areas, was actually on point for most of the series. The only episodes I cannot give them credit for when it comes to storytelling was, again, season 4. A lot of the ideas were just either badly recycled or shitty execution, plain and simple. And it doesn't help that a lot of the storytelling falls by the wayside because of how they were clearly just spitballing ideas that they never expanded on or didn't bother to expand on. And it's a shame because there's some potential in some of those episodes if they'd been written better. I had to say it. There's my input on why I gave it. I'm giving it, to be honest, fuck it, 7.5 out of 10. And I'm being generous here. Otherwise, I give it a flat 7.
I'm gonna be honest. Since we all rated the thing, and I have the last one to rate it. If I have to be completely honest, and I can't say many people will probably fault me for saying this. If I have to be legitly honest, after some serious thought and thinking, I would have most likely give it either a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I do love some of the characters, but most of season 4 kind of ruined a lot of the characters, and it especially made things very hard to swallow and handle on certain seasons, and especially in season 4. But not only that, a lot of the things were ruined or just gave me a lot of headaches and stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I could barely deal with that type of shit. So I'm just like, what do you even say to watching most of the series? Like, I'm not saying it isn't fully bad or terrible. It has great animation, good characters and stuff. Voice acting was top notch and stuff, but there was a lot of bad moments and shit. It was just there were some major parts I could just live without. You know what I mean? It was just hard to swallow. But yeah, well. So here comes another tough question after giving everyone's thoughts about the series itself. We always ask these questions for every show we binge watch. Does the show still hold up today, or if it ever did came back, will it hold up in 2021?
I'm gonna be honest.
It's in the middle.
It's like for me, most of the series holds up. Most of it holds up to this day.
Yep.
Not all, but most of it does hold up.
Yeah, this is why I would say it's an N or in the middle type of the scale.
Just pretend season 4 is not there and it'll be good.
Yeah, it was much better like without season 4's clusterfuck
really
of
was.
issues.
It really was.
Granted,
but
season 3 wasn't season 3 was okay-ish, but
Zemi, what do you think?
I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but maybe our next generation won't be too
easily offended.
intrigued about it. I mean, considering how people are nowadays being offended easily about South Park and all of that crap, I don't think it's gonna hold up. So right now it's fine, but next generation, I'm sure it's gonna be very offensive and crude and stuff.
And not only that, given how literally season 4 was written and stuff, and even if the show did make a comeback, I'm worried how they're gonna approach it. You know what I mean? Especially how they're gonna try to connect it with more current type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially after the loss of characters. So I think we got what we all need to say, right?
I mean, like I said, this series could potentially hold up. Like I think to a degree it still does. For those who are, who are used to the humor, used to, not just the humor, but are basically more open-minded. But that depends on the person. So it's iffy. Personally, it holds up well for me.
It's kind of iffy, not because it was bad, truly bad or anything. It's just there are some things that it just needs improving on, you know?
I'm gonna be honest when I say this, and Cross and I have discussed this at length. Certain episodes need to be thrown out altogether if they ever decide to reboot the Boondocks in any capacity. Certain episodes need to be thrown out entirely, or basically like they need a reset button. Like they need a fucking reset button because again, the badly executed storytelling in some episodes was what really hurt the series overall. Other than that, I have no major problem with the Boondocks, and a lot of people I've talked to, they've had no issue with it as well. It's just certain episodes could go straight to hell.
It's just fucking season 4 is just, and a lot of episodes is just
It's just too much.
They're either too much or they were better off never written because they were just bad. Yeah. That's the best I can honestly say about it personally.
Can I also say this all about this too?
Go ahead.
If I agree with you when you said they need to remake the whole season 4 over, because right now
there's no saving it. Other than maybe the first episode of season 4, there's no saving that part of the series.
Yeah, just the first episode and go from there. Or wipe out the whole entire thing.
Because the season 4, like the first one, wasn't a bad start. The problem was it got progressively worse.
Yeah, it did get progressively worse after.
Except for the hair gel episode was a maybe on that one, only because to be fair, it is typical of the same type of shit you would probably see from season 3. It's just that thanks to the overarching context of Granddad's incompetence with money in general, yeah. Like, if it weren't for that, I imagine it would have been a better written episode overall. But that's just me. Because there were a lot of ideas that they simply just threw in, but they didn't bother expanding on.
I think we should just wrap it up here now.
Yeah, I got nothing else to say about it.
Alright, guys. Well, that's coming to a close of Boondocks. But just I just want to say this. This is a matter of our opinions and thoughts, guys. If you want to watch the Boondocks series yourself and put your thoughts and opinions of the series itself in the comments, go ahead. We'd like to hear it and stuff. But
Yeah, just a real quick, I just remembered this. Just like how we reviewed Code Monkeys, this series is potentially can be considered pretty offensive at times. So watch your own risk, and we would rather not be blamed if you decide to watch it for yourself and you suddenly get offended by something on it, because we did warn y'all beforehand. So you can't get mad at us if we didn't warn you, and say we didn't warn you when clearly we're doing so right now. And we also did earlier on, if I remember correctly. But the point of it is, this series it's got its TV rating for a reason. It's got the controversy for a reason. We literally warned y'all about this. So if you still decide to watch it and suddenly decide to feel offended, that's your own fault. I refuse to take responsibility for someone else's stupidity. Sorry.
anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I'd like to thank Riku for joining us. Since we have nothing else to say, we're going to go ahead and do our outros and all that.
All right, I'll go. If you like this video and any other reviews we've done in the past, you can feel free to leave a like, leave a comment or two, subscribe to our channels, which will be listed in the links below in our descriptions, and also don't be afraid to also leave a like and subscribe on our other channels as well for any other content we make.
And like always, if you guys enjoyed it, there's a playlist down below too. If you guys want to, binge watch or sleep over through the reviews, that way we can soothe you in your sleep with our
Shenanigans. Though then again, they should be driving people fucking nuts, but that's not the point.
I mean, podcasts kind of do that. So
Yeah. Oh yes, and don't forget to also I guess subscribe, follow Riku as well. He does mostly streams on Twitch and YouTube. So feel free to also comment on his stuff as well.
I also want to say this too. Thank you guys for having me. And guys, did me a solid and did not bug them to invite me at all, for the love of God.
Wait, what happened?
No, but I give it a warning.
Okay.
I said, don't bug nobody about the guests. Don't bug them about the guests. It's their choice and their decisions. So please respect that.
Thank you. Sammy?
Sorry. Oh God, this is so unprofessional.
We were professional?
That's the whole point.
All right, Lady Multiverse signing out. Retro Goddess. Yeah, bye.
Damn it.
And this is the Retro Leader. Hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and comment down the shows that you remember from the good old times and all that. And we'll be sure to share it with us, and we might take a look at it if we're able to. Until then, we'll see you all next time on another Retro Warrior review. Bye, guys.
Later, peeps.
I gotta turn on my back.
The next time on Retro Warriors.
But yes, our family has lived with this curse for generations. We transform into the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac. Sorry, the 12 animals plus the cat.